Hey y'all, it's your girl Faye here, and thank you for tuning in into Words by Faye. I hope y'all had a blessed week so far. Tap into spoken flows from current or inspiring poets from all over the world. Tap into our second segment, Open Mic, where y'all can release anything that's on your mind, whether it's a testimony, you need a vent, whatever it is. We got you right here on Words by Faye, okay? If you would like to be featured on Spoken Flows or Open Mic, go to Words by Faye on the Medium platform and go to the pin post at the top to submit your inquiry. So obviously today is not Wednesday, but I picked this specific day on April 24th for a specific reason. And I'm going to get into that in open mic, our next segment. So, first, we're just going to go ahead and get into spoken flows. Now, usually I would invite on aspiring or current poets. Now, since this episode was so last minute, a lot of people wasn't available, which I understand because it was last minute for me too. So I was gonna go ahead and skip this segment, but I was like, well, let me go ahead and share one of my poetry. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys one of my poems that's featured in my up and coming book called "It Blew Me You." It will be available for pre-sale soon. It's a spoken words book. It's my first book that I ever wrote that will be published. So I'm very excited for that. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this poem. I'm going to give y'all a sneak peek into my book. You can also catch this on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Words by Faye, to see the other poems that I dropped as well. But this poem is called Seed. The blooming of a human is similar to a flower. In fact, I feel like God made us the same, just in different hours. You see, it all starts with a seed, big or small. It could be the tiniest of seeds. You know what they say, all it takes is a mustard seed of faith. We all produce different seeds. What kind will you produce? Well, that all depends on your needs. Need for positivity, your need for growth, or your need for negativity, just to put on a show. What kind of seed you are helps dictate what's on the inside of you and what kind of flower you'll blossom into. It's rooted in your mind. That seed is in your mind. It starts in your mind. Subconsciously, your mind is like the soil. Water it vigorously. What you water it with determines how that seed will grow. That seed is in your mind. It needs to be rooted in your mind. It starts in your mind. Now, this is a poem from my book, It Blew Me You. This is actually the first stage of that book. It's called Seed. What inspired it? Really, God. You know, He put this series on my heart. I asked Him one day, I was just like, God, what you want me to write about? And He was just like, write about a flower blooming. So I'm just like, okay, flower blooming, okay. I'm like, that sounds great. That already sounds like something interesting I can write about. I'm thinking it's just gonna be one poem. No, like he tells me to actually like research the process of a flower blooming. So I look it up. I come across the article and it has 6 stages. So I'm like, okay, do I talk about this all in one poem, or do I put this in multiple poems? He was like, put this in multiple poems. He was like, this is not to be rushed. This is meant for you to take your time with it. And it's crazy because when I first came out with it, I called it like a 6 day series. Like I thought I was gonna do it in like 6 days. I thought I was gonna drop a poem each day, like for 6 days. But it didn't even turn out like that. I ended up finishing the series, I believe. I know it was 2022. I think it was like that February, I believe. Somewhere around there. But basically, the series basically finished out within like 3 months, basically. So it wasn't no quick thing. It was like something that God was downloading in me that I was getting from Him. It wasn't just something that I was just you know coming from me, because yeah, I'm the one who wrote it, but it came from Him. He gave me the words to put down. Like even when I read the book, like I'm like, wow, like this book is like like next level. And that's the reason why, because like it's straight from Him. Like that's why it's just so like mind blowing. Like I can't wait for y'all to read it and see it. Like it's really gonna touch a lot of people, just like it touched me, and it still is touching me. So we're gonna go ahead and get into open mic. Now, usually I will invite people on, and they will submit inquiries to my blog, Words by Faith. Just anything they want to talk about, really, whether it's a testimony, they need advice, they just want to vent, anything. You guys can submit that to my blog on Words by Faith on the Medium platform, and we can get you on here and we can get you feedback and insight. But for today, I had to take over this open mic for the first episode for this special segment, just because I got some things I need to address. Okay, y'all, because the devil tried it like 2 weeks ago. So, and before I even get into open mic, there's a video that's going to be connected with everything I'm saying right now. It's going to be on TikTok, and it will also be on my YouTube channel, Words by Faith. And it will have, basically for all my pictorial people, it will have, a visual of everything that I'm going to be talking about. So a couple weeks ago, I was on a prayer call, and we both came into agreement on something. We came into agreement that, that I'm gonna get this done, I'm gonna get that done. It was in a prayer call, so when they say when two or more get together, okay, so it was already me and her, and there was other people in the prayer call, so I know we all was coming to agreement. So after that call, like maybe a few moments later, not even a few moments, like some hours, like I see a random comment on one of my posts. I see a random comment, and it's like this lady telling me like, oh, I owe her money, and you can't keep running, and you can't keep blocking me. And I'm like, who is this lady? Like at first I didn't know who it was. Like the first thing I did was block her, because I didn't know who she was. Like I'm like, my boy, this ain't nothing but the devil. I'm like, right after I come into this agreement, like this started happening. So I go to my Facebook page, and I see in my message request, it's like the same woman, and I see like the first thing that stood out to me, she called me Lena Lean. And if any of y'all don't know, that was the name of my old page. It was called Lena Lean. I got like a blue jumpsuit on, and she called me Lena Lean, and then it finally clicked. I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, this lady probably got scammed from my old page, the one that got hacked. So I'm texting her, I'm explaining the situation and all that. She's acting like real sympathetic, like she's not really like she don't believe me. So I'm like, okay, it's that because I'm over there playing the game right along with them. They talking about, oh, we gonna send this right to the police, and I got your location, this, that, and the third. I'm okay, baby, please do. I'm like, yes. I'm like, send it into the police, and I might just go ahead and send it into the police again for another time, just so it can be evidence. And they ain't even right back after that. I left them right on scene, and I blocked them after that, cause I said what I had to say, cause it's like I had no reason to hide. It's like I didn't do anything. It's a hacker, literally using my old page, using my face to scam people. So it's like I know people gonna like recognize our old page or recognize it. I know the devil gonna try to send people like, oh, she scammed me, she's a scammer, and all this other stuff, trying to tarnish my name. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna go ahead and let it be known right now, so it can be public record, and everybody can see and everybody can know. Okay, that page is hacked, and they scamming off my face, and Facebook ain't do nothing about it. So I had to go to the bigger people. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get into me answering the call. So in January 2020, God led me to start a sweets business with selling cake jars. Now he also led me to move to Texas. Now this is all in the middle of a pandemic, so keep that in mind. Not even the middle, like the start. It was like before it even happened, like before I even knew that thing was just going to shut down. So I never end up leaving to Texas at that time, not until later on next year, which I'll get into. But I started my sweets business. It did better than I expected when I first launched, which, it surprised me. I really wasn't, expecting that much support, but it did great. It just kept going up. Like, it got better and better. Like, my jars itself, from the cake itself, from, me doing like the menus and all that. Like, it got better and better. It was like I was just going up, up, and up until, it got to that moment where, everything stopped for my business, which was in April 2021, which is the other reason why I'm making this episode, because that was the last thing before I closed up and started to revamp. So this will be my first time, being back since all that happened. So, it was a little nerve wracking. But, once I know that, okay, I know what I'm doing this time, I should doing it right, and I'm not just doing it myself, and I'm not just winging it, then I know, okay, I have some sense of direction. I want to focus on how that situation even happened, because there was a call. It was a call. I know it was a call made because I was starting to feel like I wanted more in life. I was starting to feel like, what I was doing, like, is more to it than that. So that's why God put that on me to start that Sweet's business and to go to Texas. But unfortunately,